Hey guys, so to be here, I'm going to be explaining to you guys a bit about Unhallowed Essence build for the Demon Hunter. What you're going to need first is your full 6-piece set. For the 2-piece set, your generators generate 2 additional hatred and 1 discipline. For your 4-piece set, you gain 60% damage reduction and you deal 60% increased damage for 8 seconds if no enemy is within 10 yards of you. 6 set bonus, your generators, Multishot and Vengeance deal 40% increased damage for every point of discipline you have. So discipline is a very big key factor here. The more discipline you have, and if you can remain it to be full, obviously the more damage or the more stacks you'll be able to get on the full 6-piece bonus. The other nice thing about this build is your Yang's Recurve. Your Multishot attacks 50% faster, and then Dead Man's Legacy, how those two work together. Multishot hits enemies below 51% health twice. Your focus and restraint basically stays the same. When you hit with your generator, you get 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. When you hit with your spender, then you get another 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. I do have a Hellfire Amulet, not the best, really difficult trying to re-rank them. And then Bane of the Stricken, I've been trying to level him up as well. Your legendary gems, if I can touch on there now, obviously there's Bane of the Stricken, Bane of the Powerful. You gain your 20% increase for 91 seconds after killing an elite pack, and then gain 15% increased damage versus elites and take 15% reduced damage from elites. Stone of Vengeance, damage you deal is increased by 8.88% for every 10 yards between you and the enemy hit. Maximum 44.40% increased at 50 yards. Your second bonus on that is 20% chance on hit to stun the enemy for 1 second. Now the reason why I use Stone on this build is mostly because of your Multishot that does reach quite a distance, and by having this one on linked with all of your other ones, it really does pack quite of a punch. Okay, so when it comes to the belt, I've gone through a lot of forums and I noticed that a lot of people decide to choose Witching Hour. To this point I have not yet found Witching Hour, so what I find very nice about this belt is your primary skills attack 30% faster and deal 50% increased damage. Not so much on the damage factor, but with my primary skill, my generator, attacking 30% faster, I'll be able to refill or keep my hatred quite full for a longer period of time. So that's the only reason why I decided to use this one, and it has proven out nicely. Even though Multishot, it's only 25 hatred cost, it doesn't cost much, but it's always nice just to keep the tank full. Okay, so on the skills, what we have here is your Evasive Fire Focus, mostly to generate your hatred. If you want, you could go for Hardened, increasing your armor for 25%. On your Vault, we have Tumble. After using Vault, your next Vault within 6 seconds has its discipline cost reduced by 50%. With your Companion, we stick with Wolf Companion. While it's active, your wolf howls, granting you and your allies within 60 yards 15% increased damage for 10 seconds. So the Wolf Companion is a good damage buff. Your passives summons a Wolf Companion that attacks enemies in front of him for 150% of your weapon damage as physical. So basically the whole time your wolf is active, he will deal that 150% damage, and once you activate or use your companion's skill button, you'll gain that 15% increased damage. Your next skill would be Preparation, instantly restoring 30 discipline. I've decided to go with, as my passive, permanently increase maximum discipline by 20. The reason why is because discipline is a key factor in this build. You can always re-roll your items, your gear, so that you can get your hatred regeneration. So let me see here quickly. Oh, I don't really have that. Okay, so okay, well there, increase hatred regen by 1.47. You can get it on your quiver as well, and you can get it on your weapon as well. So if you can get the reroll on your hatred regeneration from your gear as well, plus having the Templar on, which as you can see there at hatred 1 per second, it increases your resource regeneration. So plus having focus on, you will get another additional 7 hatred. So there's quite a lot of hatred regen in total on this build that you can go for. So that's why I use permanently increase maximum discipline, so that I can increase the total amount of damage that I deal. With Multishot, we've gone with Arsenal. Fire a massive volley of arrows dealing 360% weapon damage to all enemies in the area. Every time you fire, launch 3 rockets at nearby enemies that each deal 300% weapon damage as fire. With Vengeance, we stick with Seath, mostly just because of the hatred per second. So once again, if you've got 100% uptime on Vengeance, you don't really need to put your preparation on Punishment, which restores 75 hatred. You should be almost at max hatred, between 3/4 to max hatred most of the time, depending on how you spend it. So yeah, Vengeance Seath giving us that 10 hatred per second. That's an awesome one. Okay, with the passive skills, we've got Thrill of the Hunt. This one is mostly just for slowing the enemies down. Enemies hit by your hatred spenders are slowed by 80%. This just gives you a bit of freedom on the map, a little bit of safety. You can move freely. As well, Thrill of the Hunt works well with steady aim. As long as there are no enemies within 10 yards, all damage is increased by 20%, but as well, it does work well with your foresight bonus, gain 60% damage reduction and deal 60% increased damage for 8 seconds if no enemy is within 10 yards of you. So there you get your 60%. On your passives you get your 10% or your 20% as well. So you've already got an 80% bonus when you slow the enemies. Even though it's just for 2 seconds, those 2 seconds criticals could be awesome. So with Ambush, I've gone with Ambush because you can deal 40% additional damage to enemies above 75% health. So ideally, what I'd like to try and do is try and get a Dead Man's Legacy that can give me this multi-shot bonus at a higher percent. I have previously had one at 62%. So multi-shot hits enemies below 51% health twice. So with my ambush 75% down to 51%, there's quite a gap there, so that kind of slows down the kill ratio. But yeah, hopefully I can get the better Dead Man's Legacy. Then we use ballistics, mainly because of your multi-shots arsenal that shoots 3 rockets all the time. Here with ballistics, you increase damage of rockets by 100%. In addition, you have a 20% chance to fire a homing rocket for 150% weapon damage when you attack. So while increasing these ones by 100%, you'll be getting 400% on each rocket, and then as well you get a fourth additional rocket for 100 that deals 150 weapon damage. Plus here you get 2 homing rockets at nearby enemies for 80% weapon damage. So in total you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 rockets that fire pretty much all the time, especially when you have 100% on Vengeance. So one thing you guys can maybe look at doing is on your rings, if you can, or wherever you can, mostly on your hands, you can go for reduce cooldown of all skills. On your shoulders you can go for reduce cooldown of all skills. You're going to want to get this cooldown reduction, I'm only stuck on 33 now, but you're going to want to get it as close as possible to about 38-39%. I would say if you can get 40, go for 40. The cooldown reduction really helps, especially with having your wolf companion and as well having your vengeance. Having your vengeance uptime on 100% is very good because of your 6 set bonus. Yeah, you'd want to keep that 40% up on each point of discipline as much as you want. So when you're reaching mobs, try to move as little as possible with your vault, so that you can rather spare your discipline, and then you should be able to be dealing quite a fair amount of damage at a constant 100% with vengeance. Okay, so on your gloves, on your shoulders, you can get reduced cooldown. With your rings, you can get reduced cooldown. With your quiver plus with your weapon, you can get reduced cooldown. And then with your amulet, you can get reduced cooldown of all skills. So there's a fair amount of gear you can choose to reduce your cooldown to at least reach 40. So as you can see, I've only got on my gloves and on my shoulders. I do not have any cooldown anywhere else. No, reduce all resource costs, no. So yeah, as soon as you can get more cooldown reduction, you'll be doing very well. And then additional things you'd want to maybe look at is on your amulet and on your braces, you're going to want to try and get that cold skills damage. You're going to want to try and get it either on fire or on physical. I would actually say fire because of your Multishot. If you could get that 40% increased damage on your Multishot, which deals fire damage, it would be pretty good. You deal considerably, sorry, you deal quite a bit more damage. Let me use better words. So yeah, this is pretty much the Unhallowed Essence build. I haven't really played that much with it. So far currently the best GR that I've cleared is 64. I haven't really done many hours on this build, so I haven't really seen what this build's highest potential is, but from what I've seen on leaderboards, the Unhallowed Essence build is the most highly chosen build compared to the other Demon Hunter builds. Okay guys, thank you, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.